Hey, this week the band Acorise comes by with some new music. We got Metal Church, Ozzy, Metallica, all kinds of good stuff in the news. And we'll be right back to make your ears bleed. My name is Phil Boyer, and as always, from across the vast open sea, my brother from another mother, Professor Rockstar Extraordinaire, lead singers of bands past, present, and future, Mike Svensson. Mike, what the hell's in the news today?
Oh man, it's so much stuff going on. I mean, on the top of my head, the first thing I want to talk about is that the Finnish band Haino Rocks played together for the first time in 40 years. You know, the band that features Michael Monroe and Nasty Suicide, Jip Casino, Sammy Jaffa, Andy McCoy, and so forth. They were supposed to be the next Motley Crue coming out of Hollywood, because they moved to LA in the early 80s. But we all know what happened. Some drunken buffoon named Vince Neil from Motley Crue ran his Porsche into a fucking light pole or something like that, and killing their drummer Razzle. So no more Haino Rocks. But no now Michael has turned 60 years. Fucking hell. You see? And so for one night only, he had it's called the Michael Monroe 60th birthday bash. And he had except for his own band, the Michael Monroe band, he had the another band that he started right after. I think he was, maybe there was something in between. I'm not keeping track. But Demolition 23 was also a band that fronted Mike. And so he had a heap of guests. Dragon from the Helicopters, and Ginger from the Wild Hearts, and all of the Hanoi Rocks people and whatnot. So, and for one night only in Finland at some sort of arena there, got sold out in a fucking minute or something like that. I don't know. But it was a cool thing to see. I've seen some of the clips, and it's great to see the band back together like that for one evening. You can see that Michael has kept himself fit, if you know what I mean. Then we can, the other stuff, it's for a different show. So that's the first thing I have. Do you have any? Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah,
do you have any? Do you like Haino Rocks, Michael?
No.
Or
no,
nothing.
No.
Okay, so we're moving it along.
No, never. You know what? I never got into it. The first time I heard that band even was a thing was with the whole Vince Neil accident thing. That's when I realized that band actually existed. I never got into them, and it was just one of those. We've mentioned this before, like, just passed me by. I just never got into them.
No,
but a band that I did get into quite a lot, actually, was Metal Church.
Oh, Metal Church.
And if you remember, a little while ago, the lead singer, Mike Howe, committed suicide.
Oh, man.
Which I was kind of shocking. I was kind of surprised to hear about that, because it seemed like Metal Church was doing really good. And then that news came out that he had died, and we later found out he committed suicide he hung himself. But Metal Church, they came out and they said that they've got a new lead singer.
Oh.
And they're not telling who it is right now, which is kind of interesting. It's weird. Is it something like this is a biggie, like it's somebody we all know, or is it some unknown guy that we never heard of?
Oh, I know who it is. I know who it is. A guy that needs a band so he can stop whining. It's Dave Mustaine.
Oh,
no? Too soon?
Dave, too soon. The only thing they did say is that he's not a Mike Ho clone, or he's not a David Wayne clone, so don't expect that. They did have a lot of material written with Mike and they've got some new songs. So the album is right around the corner. So looking forward to that. I've always been a Metal Church fan, even throughout all the years. You know, I really love the early stuff. I mean, the song Metal Church is one of my favorite metal songs of all time. I absolutely love that song. And so nice. I'm looking forward to this.
Yes. And I'm going to hit you back with more metal. Tim Ripper Owens is back.
Fuck that guy.
Oh, for real?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, why?
I won't go there. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, I did hear he's got a new record. So
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. And it's called The Return to Death Row, I think. I looked at the cover art, which it's a bit cheesy though. It looks like the 80s horror movie Shocker. You remember that one?
Oh,
with
yeah,
Alice Cooper and Megadeth and Iggy Pop and all that stuff. They even had one of those super groups. I think they called the Dudes of Wrath, with Paul Stanley, Tommy Lee, Rudy Sarso, Vivian Campbell, and I can't remember who else was in there. But it's, Tim Ripper Owens. So why is he an asshole? Let me know.
We won't go there. It's political.
Oh,
he's
fucking,
it's
political.
You know, he's one of those guys, so we won't go there. But
okay.
He's in that camp with fucking Clapton and all those assholes.
Oh,
I will say this, though. Unlike Ted Nugent, the guy does have some talent, you know. His Beyond Fear band, I remember being really into that back in the day when that came out, and that was a good record. So, plus he's kind of a whiny little. He's kind of like Dave Mustaine. Judas Priest. They swept all my music under the rug when I was with them, and they don't promote those records anymore. And so he's kind of a whiny little bitch like Dave Mustaine. So
why should they? I don't know. You should tell me about this beforehand so we can skip talking about fucking Ripper Owens. I don't care for that dude either. But it's sort of like it's in the news today, and they're talking about it, and people are. I don't know. I never listened to Ripper.
No.
So no.
Not a fan.
I didn't care for the stuff that he did with Priest either. So. I
didn't like the stuff he did with Priest. Beyond Fear was good, but everything around that, I mean, the dude he's in so many different bands, and I don't know, he's an interesting fellow in the way he thinks, and I don't feel thinks like a musician. I think he's doing it for the wrong reasons, but that's just my opinion.
Oh, okay.
And that's just what I've seen, and you know, I'm sure I'll be getting some hate mail from Tim fans, and that's fine. You can send it directly to me, and I'll set it on fire and burn an effigy in your name to Ripper Owens.
Yeah.
But anyway,
or send it to me, because I can't read English. Send it to me. Send it to me in a different language, a language that I don't know of, and just mail it to www.
But actually, though, on a serious note, send us like when you got a beef, you got a question, you got some feedback, send it in, because as you're going to see later on in the show, you could actually be on the show. Right?
Oh, cool.
So send us. You know, we'll have information on how you can do. You can DM Mike on Instagram. You can get a hold of us on Facebook or whatever. Send us mail. However, give us a call if you can find our phone numbers.
You see?
You know, whatever, man.
Smoke
but actually,
signals.
we're going to be setting up something where you can actually call and leave a message, and we'll put your voice up on the air. It'll be fun. It'll be slick. So definitely hit us up. But changing gears from that, have you heard the new David Lee Roth, the lounge lizard version of old Van Halen songs that he's been putting out? Yeah, he's done. Let me check my notes here. He's got Panama, he's done. Ain't Talking About Love and Dance the Night Away. I think he just came out with Dance the Night Away, either late last week or early this week. I'm still playing catch up on some of the news, but they're I wouldn't call them good. If you like the Lounge Lizard style of singing, you know,
I gotta ask you,
then you'll like them.
What the fuck is Lounge Lizard? I mean, lounge music, I know, but what Lounge
It's
Lizard?
like, you know, the Frank Sinatra where we're like, hey, you know, let's go, baby.
We're
gonna
with the lizard? The lizard?
No, it's just what they called it, you know.
Oh, okay.
There's a suit
Fucking
they called
Americans.
the lizard suits and stuff. Yeah, and I think that's where it came from. You know.
Oh.
Okay, so you know we've talked about Blues Brothers before.
Oh yeah.
Murph and the Magic Tones.
Oh,
that would be a Lounge Lizard act.
Oh, okay.
There you go. That's Lounge Lizard. So
Don't
so David Lee Roth. Don't you go changing? Yeah. So that was I you know, they're not bad if I'm being honest. It's just the whole Lounge Lizard take and David Lee Roth just, I don't know. He is the front man. He knows how to entertain. I'll give him that. But it's not the David Lee Roth of Van Halen and doing Van Halen songs. It's like it kind of makes you uncomfortable, you know, in a way. It's kind of like I don't know what this is. So
and you started looking over your shoulder, going, "Oh, nobody's watching."
I know. So so there we go. So
you much rather listen to Murph and the Magic Tones.
Murph and the Magic Tones, yes.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
I just want to do it. I'm Murph. These are my Magic Tones.
Little known fact, Mike was actually part of Murph and the Magic Tones for a brief period. Fun fact.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, there you go. All right. What else you got? You got anything else in the news?
Oh, yeah. Metallica. I get two sets of news. Today, when we're recording this, it's September 27th, which is like 36 years ago since Cliff Burton died, and I'm paying homage to him on the Sounds on Vinyl Instagram. I've been playing a lot of his stuff with Metallica: Kill 'Em All, Ride Lightning, Master Puppets, and Jump in the Fire, Maxi. And so forth. So just want a little note for you there to remind us that what a great person and what a great bass player Cliff Burton was, and how much I still miss him today, because I was like 15 years old when he died in Sweden, where I'm at. The second to last show I got to see with him, and like 3 weeks later he was gone, which is sort of like it struck me really hard when it happened, because I was so young, and it was it was horrible, and it still is. I still think about that day, but I tend to go play a lot of Metallica, a lot of the old school Metallica songs, albums, and pay homage to the great Cliff Burton. Well, with that being said, moving on with Metallica, who still is alive and well, and they played the Global Citizen Festival, which was held in, I think it's New York City. And it's a festival that raises awareness to poverty and injustice in the world. And Metallica, I think this is the second or third time they play there. I can't remember, but they played a really good set this time. I think they played, like, let me check my notes, 8 songs: Creeping Death, From Who the Bell Tolls, Enter Sandman, Sabbath True, Unforgiven, Wherever I'm around, Nothing Else Matters, and Master of Puppets. So there you go. Raising awareness for poverty and injustice in the world. That's a good thing, I think. So that was that was some great news, I thought. So,
yeah, that's slick.
It is.
That's slick. So, are you a fan of the 13 record from Black Sabbath? The last and final record from Black Sabbath. Do you like it? Was it good? Was it not good? Is it right up there with the Black Album, or where's it sit with you?
It's up there with the Black Album, for crying out loud. I was let me tell you this. You know how my mind works. I dig that they did one last album together. I thought that was really cool. It's not the best album that they ever did, but it's sort of like I got to see them on this like long farewell tour, and I got to say goodbye to them properly, if you know what I mean, Sabbath. And that was a great way to go, I think. And the end video that they recorded in Birmingham, it sort of like sums everything up. So it's not an album that I listen to very often. There is some songs on there that I think were really cool, but overall I think it's a good album. Well, how about you?
Ozzy fucking hates it.
Oh,
for me, I like it. So yeah, Ozzy. Oh. I'm checking my notes here. He says he was asked about it, and if it was like a really Black Sabbath record, was that a Black Sabbath record? And he says not really, because to be perfectly honest, I didn't really get a charge from the album. Although producer Rick Rubin is a good friend of mine, I was just singing. It was like stepping back in time, but it wasn't a glorious period. Though Geezer Butler did a lot of the lyric writing for me, which he's very, very good at, it wasn't an earth-shattering experience for me. He also says he regrets that Bill Ward was not part of that record. And when he was asked if Black Sabbath is in fact done, like there's no more, is there going to be any more Sabbath? He said, yeah, it's time. It's time.
Okay.
So, which I think is kind of sad on a couple fronts. Their last record wasn't a record that they were going out on top at, because I kind of agree with you. It's not a horrible record, but it's not the best record in the world.
No.
It's better than some of their records, I will say that. I mean, I do think that for a band that has recorded for that long of time, I think it's it's better than a lot of new bands.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's not a horrible record by any means.
I think it's because you got like Master Reality. You got like Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and Sabotage. I mean, you got all those albums, man, and then comes 13, and you're not sure because, like you said, it's not a bad album, but it's not the great. But what are we comparing to? Master Reality, the first album, Paranoid. What are we comparing it to? It's
true.
I mean.
Yeah, you can't compare anything to the first two.
No.
Not even Sabbath. I mean, it's unfair to even take Sabbath and compare it to the first two records, because those were just fucking insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Like what do you compare it to? Now, to deviate from this, because technically there was sort of two final Black Sabbath records, although one came under the moniker of Heaven and Hell. We all know better, so fuck Sharon. But which one did you think was the better Black Sabbath record? The one with Dio? I forget. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it right now. The one with Bible Black on it.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
Because that came first, and then they did 13 after that.
Yeah. Wasn't it the Dehumanizer? No.
No. This was in 20. Oh fuck! It was a couple years before he died. I think they put that out. So that was what 2012, 13.
Oh, okay. Oh, wasn't it called like Heaven and Hell?
Was that the I know the band was going as Heaven and Hell, but I can't remember what the record was. Maybe it was called.
No, I know. The Devil You Know.
The Devil You Know.
The Devil You Know. Yes.
See, yes. I thought that was a phenomenal record.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think that was better than 13.
Oh, me too.
So for me, that's the better Black Sabbath record. I mean, it's fucking Black Sabbath. I mean,
it is, but it's funny that we're mentioning Dio because for the last couple of days during the weekend, I've been playing those albums for my son because he's into Dio, and he said, and I said to him, you know that Dio used to be in Black Sabbath. Yeah, I know, and he knows the songs like Heaven and Hell and so forth. And we played both of them back to back, and he was sort of like, "Oh man, I love this. It sounds old school." And he's 15 years old, so of course it sounds old school. So and he's been listening a lot to the whole Diver album and some of the latter stuff. Too, but we went back and listened to Heaven and Hell. We started out with that one, so that was really cool. So yeah. What's there to say about Dio, man? With Sabbath,
there you go. It's we've said it many times on the show. You can't go wrong with the Dio, man. You can't. You can't. Hey, so I know we've talked about this before, where like metal sightings in TV shows and movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I've been watching the show called Yellowstone. I don't know if you guys got it in Sweden.
Oh yeah.
And you've been watching it?
No. I saw like 2 episodes. I think it's too fucked up for me.
Now, did you watch Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, I actually did.
Okay. So my wife pitched this show to me because she knew I wouldn't watch it because it's like horses and Western and shit, right?
Yeah. And
it actually takes place right up the road for me. They're mentioning all these cities. It's like, oh yeah, that's like an hour away. But I'm not a Kevin Costner fan, so she knew I wouldn't watch it. So she pitched it to me like this: it's like Sons of Anarchy, except they're on horses.
Oh.
So
that makes sense. That makes sense.
So I watched it, and it's actually a really good show. The daughter in that is a fucking crack up. I love her. She's just it is so. She is just. My wife says she's like the female version of me, and it's so funny. It's like that's my long lost sister or something. But I bring it up because obviously there's way too much country music in there, which gets annoying. Mm-hmm. And it kind of pisses me off, but every time they play bad guy, they have bad guys on the screen, they'll play metal. So they had Suicidal in one scene, Don't Bring Me Down. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's slick. But then there was this scene with a bunch of bikers, right? So they're going down the road, and the guy sees these bikers in the middle of their field on their land. Well, you don't fucking do that. You don't fuck with these guys. So he pulls over and he goes in there. But what song are these guys rocking out to? They got Motorhead playing.
Oh,
fucking Motorhead. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we've got Dio, we've got Metallica, but like, when was the last time you heard like Suicidal and Motorhead?
And
Especially
Motorhead.
Motorhead is not the band, you know.
No.
So I thought that was kind of funny that they
that's
had
cool.
some Motorhead, which was cool. In the mix of all this country, we've got fucking Motorhead. So
cool.
There we go.
Change everything up a bit. That's cool. We're here with Malin from the band Acorise, and I'm going to tell you a little story. I usually tell this story. I don't know why I do it, but it's rarely that I stumble upon music where I go, holy shit, because I mean I collect vinyl records and I collect music and I listen to a lot of music and I go to shows, and I've done that since I was like 13 years old in the early 80s. So I've seen a lot of stuff. So nowadays, when I tend to go to a show or I discover music, it's sort of like it's very hard for me to go when people say, oh, this is like the best band in the world, you have to listen to this. And I go, no, I don't. I really don't. Because I want to discover stuff myself. And that's what I did with Acorise. And we have Malin here today to talk about this. But still, I'm talking, you see? My lips are moving. But this is what happened. I went to the Malmo Festival, had a burger and a beer, standing in a corner, and all of a sudden I hear this music from the stage. And I had to go check it out because it was sort of like, holy crap, this is something else. This is what I've been looking for. The sound, it hits you, and that's like the first time I ever heard about Acorise. So and I have to ask you, Malin, is this a common thing for people that you meet to get like, holy shit, Acorise, that's a great band, or is it me that's old and not hearing?
No, we've had a lot of people coming after the shows, just stopping me and just telling me, Malin, I just have to tell you that, wow, this was amazing. You were great, the band you were great, and everything was just perfect. And yeah, there's been a lot of people that's giving us compliments. So it's great to hear.
But I think it's well deserved because I mean the lineup that you got going right now, which I've read somewhere, it hasn't been around for that long, and you guys are tight together, and the stuff that I mean. The stuff that you belt out when you sing together with playing the guitar, and I don't know why I am surprised, but I am. I was not shocked, but almost when the first time I saw a woman called Lizzie Hale from a band called Hailstorm, and I actually met her afterwards, and she's not a big woman. There is. I'm thinking, where does all the air come from? And she's playing the guitar. Have you heard of them, Lizzie?
No.
Lizzie? No. Okay. And they're an American band, but she's your height, very similar, and she plays the guitar like you do, and sings and run around stage. And I'm thinking it's so satisfying to see something different, and we shouldn't talk about this because it's not important, but still it is. We need to see something else than middle-aged white males like me running around the stage and singing. We need something different, if you know what I mean. Is that something that people are trying to tell you with this? Do you find it? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just gonna say that people told me that it's very unusual for. Well, first of all, I'm a girl. That's not quite, I'm a girl, and like you said, I'm a tiny girl, and the combination of that, I'm singing, and then I'm doing the solos, and I'm, looking at the crowd, and I'm reacting to the crowd.
Yeah.
That's what people are, telling me, that it's very good that I'm doing all these things, because it's a good combination.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, when I describe you as tiny, that's not a bad thing at all for me. So don't get me wrong, but it's sort of like the whole package is like that, where you go, holy shit! Oh man!
It's the funny thing that I'm so tiny. It makes the whole thing, funny.
Yeah. And I think that's the thrill of watching Acorise play live, because you don't have those expectations, and all of a sudden you change people's minds when you start singing and playing, which I think is cool. It really is. So, but enough of that. Do you think that when you started out playing guitar and forming a band, was this all a part of the plan, playing music like this and performing?
I originally, my journey with music, it all started with the flute, actually. I started playing with the flute for a very long time. And then I switched over to the piano. And I played Mozart, and I played a little, I played the piano and I sang along playing. And then all of a sudden I started playing the guitar, and I never thought that it was going to go this great. But I've always, ever since I started playing the guitar, which is like 7 years ago, I've always had I've had this dream that, I want to be a great big musician, a rock star. I want to be on the stage, and not necessarily, become famous and all of that shit. It's just, I want to be on the stage, and I want people to like me and like what I'm doing. And I think I want them to like me on stage,
Yeah. And you're succeeding.
Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, that's great.
I mean, the response, the last show that I saw was in Lund. And the response after that one was more immediate than the one in Malmo, because this was like later in the evening, and there was a lot of people at this show, and it was sort of like people are getting the same reaction around me like I get. Holy crap! And I heard people, young people standing next to me going, "Oh man, that girl can sing," and that's. But it was more in the sense of, wow, I want to be a part of this, and that's why I think it's cool. I think I get what you mean by playing live and wanting people to listen to your music, and I think you're succeeding with this. So just keep going, man. Keep going.
Yeah, that's good to go. Thanks.
So you mentioned the flute. Do you still play the flute?
I do play the flute, but not as much as I used to. I pick it up from time to time and just play.
Cool.
But yeah, the guitar is my main instrument right now.
Yeah.
So,
but you said you also you played the piano. Do you write songs on the piano, or is it just on the guitar?
I have written a song on piano for Acorise. It's a rock song. It's sort of like Mötley Crüe's "Home Sweet Home." It's piano, but it's guitar, and it's
Mhm.
rock and roll.
Yeah.
So we have at least one piano song
Cool.
coming up.
Yeah. Cool. But do you play the piano in the song, or do you
Yeah,
just okay, cool. So but when you write songs, you mainly do it on the guitar?
Yeah. It's only on
Cool.
the guitar I
Yeah.
write songs.
Is there we're getting into some technical details right now, but do you think that starting out playing the flute and or perhaps not the flute, but the piano, the harmonies of a piano, do you think that's something that you took with you when starting playing the guitar, that you got all this harmony, writing songs?
Yeah, I mean, also the flute, I think it helped me pretty much. I got to, I learned playing the guitar pretty fast. And I think it was a lot of from the flutes. You know, I had the rhythm, I had the feeling, I knew all the pauses, and I knew I don't know, I knew every musical detail, you know, from the flutes, and also the piano. But
all right,
so it really did help me.
Cool.
When I started playing the guitar.
Nice. So talking about the band and all the shows that you've done and recordings and stuff, what's in the near future for you guys? What's up?
Well, hopefully we'll play at some festivals next year. Because this year we assigned to festivals a little bit too late.
Okay.
We kind of recruited, but right now we're gonna be right on time, and we're gonna hopefully play in festivals and just making some new material, and just, you know, taking the world by storm, just bringing the rock and roll back to the world.
There you go.
There we go. That's cool.
That's awesome.
So now I think it's about time you people out there get to listen to Acorise, and this is actually one of my favorite songs. Do you know which song I'm thinking about, Malin? Do you remember I've told you about this?
I'm Too Much of You.
Too Much of You. Here we go.
Yes.
Acorise for you right here on Sounds on Vinyl.
a great song.
It is. It is a great song. You see, you have to go. If you're not able to go at the shows because you're living in a different country, go on YouTube and freaking put that shit up on the TV and watch Acorise play and kick your ass, because that's that's the right way to listen to the songs.
That was my, because when Mike, when you were watching those, you're like sending me videos like, hey, we got to get them on the show. We got to get them on the show. And I got on my cell phone, I'm watching these videos. It was pretty slick. It's like, so that's the first time live that I heard you guys. And I'm like, oh, these guys are awesome. So that was fun.
Yeah. See, I'm so excited. I'm texting in the middle of a show. What the fuck is wrong with me? But still, so you need to listen to Acorise, and you can check them out here on Sounds on Vinyl, and all the links are in the description as always. And we're on YouTube and all those great places where you can listen to podcasts and check us out. Malin, thank you so much.
Thanks
for being on our show and keeping up with us old farts. But still, we had a great time. Yeah. All right. Good luck in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We should go to fan feedback, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So this question's for you. This one came in from Cameron from Nashville, Tennessee, talking about country music. I was just there a few weeks ago. Cool. And lots of country music, lots of talented musicians though. That place, if you're a country music fan, even like they have some decent rock bands. Went to the Johnny Cash Museum. It's fucking awesome. I know you're a Johnny Cash fan.
Oh yeah.
Like fucking amazing, right? Johnny Cash doesn't get better than that. But lots of talent. Anyway, Cameron from Nashville, he writes in and he says, when I listen to music, it's usually on my iPhone or in my car using CarPlay, sometimes the radio. I don't know how the radio is in Nashville. Here it sucks. But after listening to your show, I've been thinking about giving vinyl a try. Is there a good starter turntable that I should get? I don't have a huge budget, so something cheap would be great. What do you got?
All right.
What kind of turntable should this guy get?
I think he should start out with a Project Evo. I think it's an all-around good turntable to start out with. It's a bit little more expensive than the regular ones, but it's the length of it that you can have it up to like, I mean, at least I think their warranty is somewhere around like 10 or 15 years. So the Project Evo, or maybe a Rega Planner. Or he could do a used one too. He could go for like, let's see, the Technics. Technics SL1210, I think they're called. Or he could look up let's settle with that. I think he should go with I think he should go with a new turntable, because I think that a new one. I think so. Let me just quick look up here on.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, I've seen these. You know, they got them at Target and all these places, right? They're about $100, maybe a little cheaper than that, $80 to $100, and it's this old school kind of little turntable. It's like a radio kind of thing. It's sort of like an all-in-one, and it's really kind of, you know, I think it's got one big speaker in the front. Is that a good starter one, or fuck those?
No,
stay away from those. Don't ever get those.
Stay away.
If you give a shit about, okay.
Yeah, no, stay away from them.
Don't be drawn in by the cheapness of them. So what would these two turntables that you suggested? How much are they going to set this guy back? Couple hundred.
I think so. He can get the Rega Planner 1, which is the cheaper alternative, much cheaper. It will go for like $300, something like that.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, if you're starting out, I want you to start out with something a little more expensive. If you're going with a turntable that will cost you like $100 or $150, a new one, it's crap. I shit you not. It is. You can't get a decent turntable, a new one, for $100 that sounds good. You have to go with the more expensive ones. You can get a decent price for a used one, a Regal planner. I know they're out there. So go with anything Rega planner, or go with a Project. Project has
And that's
different
with a K.
lines.
Project with a K and not a C. Right.
Let me see. Project. P-R-O-G-A-C-T.
Oh, it is a C. Okay.
Yeah, it is a C.
I stand
Project.
corrected. Okay.
Yes.
So essentially, even though he wants something on a budget, he should save up and wait and get something decent if he's really serious about the whole vinyl thing. You don't want to cheap it out. You want to hold off and.
Yeah, because I mean, he could go with a used one. Then if he finds a Rega planner or a Project for like 150, that's all good. But if he wants to start out, listen to vinyl records in a proper way, so that he can get the feeling of it, he needs to go with a turntable that it's a bit more pricey, and some really good speakers with that, and that will, I mean, the first Project that I bought, I had for like a couple of years. The first Technics that I bought, I think it's the Technics SL1210, okay. I think it is. I had that one for 25 years.
Oh, wow. So it's a good investment. It might cost you a couple $100, but it's going to last you if you take care of it and you do all the stuff you're supposed to do, and it'll cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Well, thanks, Cameron, for writing in.
Thank you.
Say hi to everybody in Nashville. And because I'm kind of a nerd, right? And I love looking at the stats and see where everybody's listening from. Nashville is actually the second biggest city in the U.S. that listens to our show, if you can believe that, because we talk about rock and metal, and there's such a big country city. Cool. They're like the number 2 city. So I thought that was kind of an interesting little tidbit right there.
Yeah.
And actually, Virginia is right up there too. Virginia cities. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And we're going to leave links to all these recommendations. So if you also want a record player, you're starting out, you can click on those links. And if you want to write in, have a question, or tell us that I'm a fucking asshole for not liking Tim Ripper Owens, we'll have links on how you can do that as well. And any last words, Mike, before we get the hell out of here?
Play some metal, man.
Play some metal. There you go. Love it.
All right.
Until next week. Later.
Later.